Arc Raiders has just launched today, and with it, a ton of people will be going topside for the first time. Whether you're new to extraction shooters or a veteran, Arc Raiders combines a ton of mechanics across a lot of the different titans in the genre. Hunt Showdown, Marauders, Escape from Tarkov, the DNA of all those is found here, spliced in with some old school DICE goodness. In this video today, I want to help you take your first steps into a scarier world with my tips that should immediately get you better at the game. Now, this is your first time on my channel, the way I do things is by upfronting the knowledge in my videos. Now, this can be difficult with a compilation of various tips, but let me give you some of the biggest takeaways. Make sure you're looting already looted locations, either ones your friends have looted or complete strangers. This nets you an early 200 experience per location that can help a lot in the early levels. Use the game's many context clues to get a sense of what's going on the fly. Blue lights on arcs mean that they're passively searching. Yellow is actively searching for you, and then red means actively hunting because you've just been spotted. Items have the same system. Anything with a little diamond in the corner means it can be sold for a good chunk of cash, but the wrench denotes some sort of material or recyclable item. So make sure you're stockpiling the ones you need and recycling the ones you don't for even more materials. Your logbook is a powerful tool that'll help you track your quests, item materials for your hunting, upgrade parts, everything. Make sure you're leveraging it and referencing it as much as possible. Free loadouts are a great way to learn the game with zero expense to you, as well as giving you an early stockpile of solid guns. So make sure you're leveraging it as much as possible. When you're ready to start going in with custom loadouts, make sure you exchange any of the free loadout kits at the trader for combat, tactical, or loot loadouts at no cost. Lastly, and the most important thing, play this game however the hell you want. In a matter of days or even hours, we're going to see so many posts about metas and try-hard content trying to force you to play into a distilled fashion or with specific skills. Fuck that. You paid your money, so you play this game however the hell you want, and whatever way feels comfortable for you. We're all busy people, and there's no point in playing someone else's game if it's not what vibes with you. So screw what the internet says and choose skills that fit your playstyle. You can respec anyway, so just enjoy yourself. But that's too long to watch this entire video. So I'm going to go into a lot more detail about stuff like upgrading weapons, building workshops, and what have you. But if that's all you wanted to know, please feel free to shut the video down. I want to be respectful of your time. You can navigate to any part of this video that interests you the most using the chapters about the timeline and the description. And if you are heading out, please don't forget to like, comment, or subscribe. That helps me out in a huge way. Don't forget to check me out on Twitch, linked below. I'll be doing giveaways of Arc Raiders all weekend, so check that out. Let's get started here on how to immediately get better at playing Arc Raiders for beginners. As you push your way through the game, if you're playing solo, this might not be as relevant, but it still kind of is. When you loot something, when you search something, it's going to give you experience. You're going to get 200 salvage experience. Well, if you're playing with friends, you guys can then search each other's previously searched location to then get that same experience. You won't get any items, but you'll get experience. And this is just a great way to stack experience as you're moving through the game. And if you are playing solo and you do find a place that's already been rummaged, go ahead and search those things as long as you're in a location that you think is safe enough to search them, because it just gets you free experience, which then gets you skill points, which then gets you more abilities and things that you can play in the game with. So these next three are gonna kind of be all combined together, but we're going to break them up into separate little tips and understanding. So when you take a look at your inventory, which is accessible by pressing tab on the keyboard, I'm not sure what it is on a PC, or I'm sorry, on a controller, but just open up your inventory and you're going to see all of these items that you've got. Now you'll see these little icons right here, which are kind of context clues as to what item this is. Is it a weapon? Is it ammo? Is it what have you? But if I take a look over here, predominantly at anything with a wrench, I know that it is recyclable in some way, shape, or form, and it's usually used for crafting in some way, shape, or form. Now I can go ahead and right click on that and go to recycle, and then it will tell me all the items that I get from recycling things. This is crucial because you will be crafting, you'll be making workbenches, you'll be doing blueprints, which is all kind of the next progression of tips here. So what you want to see here is, yes, this spring cushion can be crafted. Now there are going to be some quests that are going to require you to turn some things in, and you won't know what those are unless you somehow have knowledge of those things. So keep that in mind. You can also see what the value is of something by just simply hovering over it. So also keep that in mind because you'll want to expand your stash eventually. Guess what? It's another tip coming up. So what you'll see here though, is that this just says can be recycled into crafting materials. Let me show you one like this. This says used to craft medical supplies. And then it says used to craft. So pretty much anything that doesn't have any of that used to craft in it is relatively safe to just go ahead and right click and press recycle if you need those components. Now I say relatively because sometimes something like this Hornet driver, this is used for a quest. It's either this or it's either the Hornet driver or the Wasp driver. One or the other is used for a quest. So I'll know I want to stockpile a couple of these for a quest, but that's just because I already have that knowledge. So for example here, I need some rubber parts. What do I need rubber parts for? Well, let's talk about that next tip right now. If we come over here to our workshop, and then we go down and see here, we've got Scrappy, we've got our workbench, we then have the ability to install. And we're gonna see from our gunsmith that we need these required parts. So metal parts and rubber parts. And this is gonna tell us, hey, we're gonna use these, or the gunsmith's gonna do certain things. The gear bench is going to do certain things. It tells you all right there. I don't need to read the text to you, but we want to be able to find these parts and make these things because the gunsmith then allows us to modify our weapons, have a little bit more fun, and play with blueprints. So we're going to use those parts that we were looking at in the previous tip and see, okay, we've got the rubber parts, we've got the metal parts. But if I take a look over here at the utility station, I'm short the arc alloy or the plastic parts. So I can come back to my inventory and go, hey, this recycles into arc alloy. What are these recycle? Speaker component, I think, recycles into plastic parts. Yeah, this recycles into plastic parts. So I know I can kind of hunt down these items to then create the thing that I want to create, which in this case is a gunsmith. So we're going to go ahead and hold down E to install that. Go ahead and install it, which is now going to bring us to our second point on, third and final point, blueprints. Context clues are a big portion of this game. And if we're trying to craft things, we want to know where to find the items that we want to craft. So I'm going to look at my inventory real quick to show you this. I'm going to hover over this and it says arc power cell. At the very bottom of the screen, you're going to see can be found in arc, or this one can be found in mechanical, industrial, electrical, technological. All those things correspond to locations on any of the maps that you go to. You'll be able to look at that, and we'll show that off in a little bit. You'll be able to press M if you're on a keyboard, open up the map if you're on controller, and see all those locations, and it'll say, this is a mechanical spot, this is an industrial spot, and it'll oftentimes have multiple. It'll say an industrial electrical location, or it'll say a residential location. So bringing us back over here to the workshop, back into the gunsmith, we can see that this mechanical component can be found in mechanical. Simple gun parts can be found in radar or security locations. So you want to be able to find these locations by looking at these context clues. Let's take a look in the actual game where these locations might be. So for that map, you can go ahead and just simply, you can press play and come to this location and press inspect to take a look without having to actually jump in. But like I said, testing annex here, you can see the legend on the right side of the screen, but this testing annex, I can see that this has got medical and commercial. This over here is industrial and mechanical. This is nature, industrial and security. This is commercial and technological. This portion over here is technological and security. So you look at these little icons and it's going to give you an idea of where you've got to go when you zone into a map, so that you know where to target or spot farm for the items you need to craft what you want. Now, one big thing too is managing your inventory. Managing your inventory is going to be huge because this is going to allow you to use free loadouts and what have you. You can see I don't have a lot of inventory slots left. We've already talked about context clues and taking a look at the little icons in your inventory. Well, these icons are pretty crucial because these icons pretty much just show me that they can be used to sell stuff for. So to expand our inventory, right now we have 53 out of our 64 slots. We press this button right here. And I already have money because I started with the deluxe edition, but I'm going to assume you didn't. So let's go ahead and right click this torn book. We'll sell this for $1,000 and sell these for $2,000. It takes 5,000 to upgrade the first time. So let's just assume that we've already done that. And I've got 8,000 total coins. We'll press expand. And you can see here, it's going to cost 5,000. It's going to give us more stash size. Do this because it's going to be the biggest portion of the game, right? Is managing that inventory, and you cannot access multiple free loadouts if your inventory is jammed up. So just make sure you take care of upgrading your inventory and then also clearing the inventory out by either upgrading things, breaking things down, recycling them, selling them, turning in quest items, whatever it is. Now, after every mission, what you're going to want to do is go to your workshop and go ahead and click on this little guy, your cock. Click on Scrappy. I mean, guys, let's be appropriate. And you're going to see here, Scrappy the Rooster will have a collection box that will provide you with things for all of your crafting purposes. Now, you're going to eventually level, quote unquote, Scrappy up. And you click on train here and you'll see this, the dog collar. This is another thing that you can track much in the same way that you can with blueprints. And we know that if I go to residential areas, we might be able to find a dog collar. So you're able to do that. And all these things will go into your logbook. But we're going to go ahead and press claim here. And boom, we have all those items added to our inventory and we can use them to craft up further. But we just talked about the logbook. How does that work? Loadouts in any extraction shooter are going to be the thing that kind of gets you through them. But free loadouts are what allow you to kind of get a leg up after having maybe a couple bad rounds or just get some items, whatever it is. Maybe you're just going in for some crafting resources, whatever the situation is. Of course, like I said, you can go through your custom loadout. Now, one thing you got to know with a free loadout is you can only do a free loadout if you have the proper amount of inventory slots. It itself has less inventory slots and you have this custom free loadout augment. You get a random item, you get a random basic weapon and then some just kind of crap gear. So overall, it's nothing awesome. But just know that if your inventory is jam-packed, you will not be able to use your free loadout. So let's talk about expanding that inventory as well. So now that you've used your free loadout and you successfully extracted, hopefully, let's go to your traders. Let's go to the clinic. Good old Lance here. Now you see that here's a combat Mark 1 and you see it's going to cost us some coins. Well, if you look at the lower right corner of all these, it just shows you, hey, this is what that thing is going to cost you. We know that to be true. But you'll notice right here that this has a little tiny thing. Click that. Well, that costs you one free loadout augment. So you can get a looting Mark 1, a combat Mark 1, or a tactical Mark 1 by just simply extracting with your free loadout. You can swap it on a 1-to-1, so it saves you what, roughly 2,000 credits, gold, doubloons, whatever these are. So make sure that you're using these free loadout augments and getting that 1-to-1 trade in at the trader. Arcs across the game have context clues that let you know what they're up to. I don't know why I said it like that, but still, they've got 3 different tally lights or lights that are going to give you some kind of connotation or at least an idea of what's going on. If it's a blue light, they are actively searching around. Well, they're passively searching around. I'll say they're passively searching. They're just kind of sweeping the location. This is especially true of snitches. You will see a big, large blue telegraph that is searching through. You'll see this on sentinels, any kind of turrets, stuff like that. But when it switches to yellow, it means they've been alerted to your presence. Something gave you away and they're now actively searching for you. So yellow is definitely a cautious situation. You want to try to hide. You want to stop moving as much. You want to hunker down. And then red means you've been discovered and they are going to fight and or kill you and or alert things like a snitch will to bring in even more arcs. So understanding how these lights work is the key to survival in Arc Raiders. It's coming back to the parent screen. Let's go ahead and bring up our inventory again. Now we have in here the logbook. The logbook is going to show us our quests as well as our tracked resources. You can see this in the actual game when you're playing as well. It seems to be a little buggy right now though, and only actually shows you like your feats that you're working on. But this is a great way to track things so that you can see on the fly any resources you're looking for, any quests you're trying to complete. You can just kind of knock these out as you're doing them. Like for example, I'm trying to do trash and treasure for the millionth time, going through all these tests. And I have to go obtain those wires. Cool, got that. But what was I working on with my anvil? Oh, my Scrappy. Okay, all those things are right here. So use your logbook. It is a very powerful tool to quickly track all the things you're trying to do. And referencing that very same logbook, like I was saying, I thought you found that information in the logbook. No, when you're actually playing the game, it'll be over here in your tracked resources section. So ignore what I said earlier. I just am not the smartest YouTuber in the world. So we've got that covered. Let's jump into some other facts. If you find yourself in a position where you need to free up some space, either through your actual weight capacity or your item slots, rather than just dropping something, you can right click on it. I don't know what this is on console, unfortunately, and salvage forever parts. And this says right here, salvaging yields fewer or lower quality items than recycling. So just do this if it's something you're going to discard anyway. You might as well get some benefit out of it. And this might be then something that you can stack with something that then exists already in your inventory. Now, don't do this if this just simply bloats your inventory more, but this is a great way to take items that you were going to throw on the ground or leave and try to get something out of them that can actually work with what you're doing. Now, once you build the gunsmith, you're going to want to take advantage of all the mods. Mods don't require very many intensive materials. And I always think of, like, when I play Tarkov, I'm very conservative with all my mods because they're really not very easy to access. You need a higher level of play. Not necessarily here. They're very easy to access and they're very cheap. So for example, here we'll go ahead and craft one of these. Go ahead, we made ourselves an extended mag. The compensator, we can go ahead and make one of these. We can go a vertical grip or a stable stock. We can use any one of these on our weapon. Just know it costs duct tape. Duct tape's a little bit rarer than, rubber parts. Just know though too, this little symbol right there and there and there and there then coincides to coming back to our inventory and taking a look at, say, the rattler. So the rattler, you can see this is a muzzle slot, that is a underbarrel mod, and this is a stock mod. Well, if we go ahead and take a look at those, weapons, ammo, where was the mod? No, shields, there is one for, I swear to God, there's weapon mods. We've got a compensator. I've got another compensator. I've got a mag. So we can't use the mag on this, but we can use a compensator. So we've gone ahead and put one in. It was pretty easy to do, pretty cheap. And this is going to give us per shot dispersion and max shot dispersion. So that cone of fire is going to be tighter on the rattler, which is your assault rifle. So take advantage of these. They're really not expensive, and make sure you use them because they do have a pretty big impact very fast. Now, aside from doing your actual mods, you can also do weapon upgrades. I would strongly encourage you to do weapon upgrades for the weapons that you like doing because it's pretty cheap. Metal parts right here. So we go ahead and hold down E. You can see that we're going to get a durability increase and some reload time increase here. And then if we go ahead and do this again, if I have simple gun parts, it's a pretty substantial reload time reduction on the Pharaoh, which is a pretty great battle rifle. Being able to reload it quickly is awesome. But another example here would be the Stitcher. Now, this isn't upgrading items in general, like, okay, now every time I make a Pharaoh, it comes at level 2. No, that's not how that works. It's saying that you are upgrading items that are in your inventory as denoted up here. So if you get an item you like, hey, I'm using this a lot, I put mods on it, whatever it is, come through here and say, okay, I'm going to upgrade it using rubber parts and metal parts, or metal parts and plastic parts. It's pretty inexpensive to upgrade things, and you're going to be filled with these parts. So as you kind of reach the capacity for your inventory, feel free to upgrade some of your weapons that you've done through free loadouts that you've found in the game world. So you just completed a mission and you have an entire inventory full of stuff. Now you can keep this as is and just simply press continue, then manage it in the inventory screen next. And we're going to talk about that here. Or you can press unload the backpack and it'll pop all of it into your stash for you. So you can see that little grayed out area lets me know that. So this keeps my loadout that I did go into the game with. You can see these are not grayed out. They don't have the hashes over them. Let's go ahead and press continue, go through this. Yeah. And then jump into our inventory. When we jump into our inventory, we're going to be able to manage this a little bit easier, right? So through this screen, and this kind of goes into something we talked about a little bit ago with the context clues and stuff like that, but just to give you a bit of a primer on how to manage this inventory post a mission, let's go down to, we talked about how these diamonds, right? We want to just sell these. These are probably never going to be used for anything other than selling. But we'll see a lot of these things with the wrench. Those things have refined material, topside material, and then recyclable. If it has recyclable there, recyclable typically will not be used for anything other than a quest. Like I said, one of these is either the Hornet driver or the Wasp driver is used for a quest, and they both say recyclable. So you are free to go ahead and recycle these to free up a lot of space, just like this. And you can even kind of take a look at this, right? This is going to give me 4 electrical components and 4 arc alloy. If you're really hurting for money, you could sell it instead because it's rare. So just kind of make that judgment call for yourself based off of what you need. Like, okay, here's some thermal lining for 1,000, or this is going to give me fabric. Do I need the fabric? Do I need the money? So like I said, just kind of make sure you're keeping a track of, do you need the materials? Do you need the credits? whatever it is that makes the most sense for you. But this is the best way to manage your stuff, and just do it right after a mission. Don't wait. If you wait, you're just going to have a jammed up stash like I do, because I was burning through a bunch of missions for the content I'm trying to make. So I recommend you do it first so that you just get it out of the way and you don't forget about it. But like I said, look for anything that just simply says recyclable, because anything that says topside material will probably be used for some kind of quest or some kind of crafting component. Even though this says used in crafting versus something that says like down over here that says used to craft, it's because I already know I can craft those things. So this is something that will probably be used for some future crafting component. Just know that topside material is usually used for crafting versus the other things are just, yeah, it's salvage. Go ahead and break it down. Managing your inventory is also pretty crucial. So let me give you another quick tip or two on managing inventory. Let's say you jumped out of a mission and you forgot to empty your backpack. Well, jumping into the inventory, you'll see this unload backpack. It takes your entire backpack and puts it over into the stash. And you'll also notice that I have tons of these stacks of things. This is deliberately made for the video. If you press Alt on a PC and, you know, click any of these, you'll break them into different stacks and maybe you just have a ton. Well, you can press this button, and this will then merge all my existing stacks. So we're gonna go from 102, 112 to 83 out of 112. So use these two buttons to really help you out. You can also press this button to organize by different things like category, name, value, and applying different filters here so that you're only looking at specific items. So make sure you use all of this to navigate your inventory a lot easier. So when it comes to skill points, you're always going to see videos that have like, this is the meta of what you got to pick. Just fuck that. Please play however you want. You're going to get roughly a skill point per level. You are going to get one skill point per level, and you start at level 0. So you can see I'm almost level 5. I will get my 6th skill point once I reach level 5 because I started at level 0. And just know too, sometimes it's worth only picking up 1 point to kind of explore and feel how all these work, right? Like if I go over here, this is super invaluable. Unlocks the ability to field craft items while topside. So jumping in here just to grab that's a 3-point investment, but that allows me to field craft items on the fly so I can make bandages or whatever I need to while I'm playing through a mission, rather than trying to say, oh, I'm out of my shield repair kits, which is going to be something that's going to happen a lot. Well, having this in-round crafting is going to allow me to do that while I'm topside and what have you. So all sorts of stuff here is usually pretty advantageous. You can't go super wrong with any of this. Have fun. There's going to be tons of videos, tons of Reddit posts, things that have broken down the strict meta, the min-maxing of the percentages and the specific values for all this stuff. Screw it. Just have fun. You're not trying to play this game competitively to make money. You're trying to play this game to have fun. So enjoy yourself through the skill building process. It's why I'm not giving you a bunch of information here in this section. It's just trying to remind you this is how skills work, and try to have fun with this as much as possible, especially in the early portion, because you can respec this entire tree. So have fun, invest in things that you think might be beneficial to you. And then as you play through, you go, actually, I'm actually not sliding at all. Or now that I play the game more, I'm not breaching as much. I'm just trying to get around stuff rather than breaching through it. Whatever it is, whatever makes sense for you, play how you want, not what the internet tells you to. And at that, it brings our video here to a close. So we've covered a lot of different things, and there's even more that I didn't even touch on. I didn't touch on a lot of like the methodology of how to play or how you should be approaching yourself and how you be a little bit stealthier. That's a lot of stuff that's been built into me through like the 800+ hours of playing Hunt Showdown, and also all the ways that you should be looting and kind of choosing higher value versus lower value items. It's kind of stuff that I got from playing Escape from Tarkov. So if there's stuff like that you would like to know, go ahead and let me know in the comment section below. I can do a whole nother video on it. But if you have some other tips, you know, maybe you played a ton of the server bash. I got a chance to play a lot of that. I played a lot of it at TwitchCon. I played a lot of it during the open beta session. So I've had a lot of hands-on time with Arc Raiders, and I'd love to just keep sharing as much content, but I'm sure you guys have had different ways to approach things. So go ahead and let it be known in the comment section below. Help people out that are getting into this game so they can break in a little bit easier. As always, guys, thank you so much for watching here today. Have a good one and take care.